It's that time of the year, man. You know what? I can't even say that. Because there's some years where we don't get an opportunity to be able to say with every fiber in our being that Hanta Toya Boo, man. Hunter. My boy Yoshihiro Togashi is coming back. He's coming back. Now, it's not going to be immediately, obviously. We just recently received the tweet that, my goodness, man, hey, you want to talk about somebody blowing everything up that was on the noggin right before that tweet, man. Before that tweet, I was like, yeah, man, take Kirby Day, you know, for the Kirby Air Riders, a childhood favorite. So I was like, man, that's going to be an exciting time. Gamescom later today with like Resident Evil Requiem and the new Call of Duty, the Xbox handheld, a whole bunch of opportunities to potentially see other stuff like Hollow Knight Silksong, and other things, right? So I was like, yeah, it's going to be a huge gaming day. Y'all, earlier this year, before the Xenoblade journey, I was mid Hunter x Hunter rewatch. I made it all the way to Midgard Island before I started the Xenoblade Chronicles journey, because I had been rewatching Hunter x Hunter and JoJo and several things, right, that I've been talking about in the top 5 of the weeks throughout the course of the year, and so I paused it obviously because all of my time outside of everything that I'm doing is going to Xenoblade. I mean, everything. Every single last second, man. And I'm loving the flaggers out of Xenoblade X right now, so it's just continuing. But listen to me, man. Listen to me. The moment that I saw this morning, all plans were scratched, bro. I actually had another video I was planning on doing today. Not anymore. Not anymore, man. Because my boy is back, and like I said, it's not going to be imminent, but at least we know that it's going to be happening within, I'm going to say, the next 6 months. So I'm going to give it between now all the way over until, I'm going to say January, February, March. Somewhere, I'm going to say early 2026. Maybe it'll be like that one stretch for the Phantom Troops section that we got from December all the way to January and beginning of February. It might even be like the last stretch that we had that I was not able to be here for the final 2 chapters of, which was from like November to December. So remember, but I'm going to stake everything on the fact that it probably is going to be somewhere between January to March. That is going to be my prediction for when we can expect Hunter x Hunter to be back. And I think this is, it couldn't have been a better time for me personally. Right? Because obviously just now finishing something that was extremely special to me in the Xenoblade journey. And anytime I finish, or I'm almost done with it, right? I'm still going through X, but I'm very close to finishing it. And it's brought me back to the memories of the other journeys that I've gone through while having this YouTube channel, right? 2 of the more prominent ones being Hunter x Hunter, the very first journey I ever undertook. That was not from the very beginning of the channel, right? Because obviously we started the channel with the big 3. But after that, the very first thing that was recommended to the boy was Hunter x Hunter, man. And so that was the very first journey we ever started on the channel. And then, you know, obviously Gintama came after, and we just recently got big Gintama news that that's going to be making a big splash next year with the Yoshiwara in Flames remake, as well as the Genpachi anime that's coming out, Genpachi Sensei anime is coming out in October. So that's going to be a ton of fun, man. But in the midst of all of that, Yoshihiro Togashi says he's working on the series again, man. And I think the reason why I'm personally so excited and invested is because the last 2 stretch, you know what, I'm gonna go farther than that. The last 3 stretches, the last 30 chapters in Hunter x Hunter are among my favorite chapters in Hunter x Hunter. Like I would stake those chapters right there with my absolute favorites from, I don't care what arc it is, like the Chimera Ant, or York New, or Greed Island, or Hunter Exams, or the election, or I don't care. I do not care. The last 30 chapters of the Succession War, for me, is right up there with some of my favorite stuff in the series, man. I have been adoring. What I love so much about this stretch we're in particular, in the last 30 chapters, is that we're able to see the state in which Togashi was in while he was writing those chapters, in the same way you would see someone who's writing a novel and releasing it after publication. You see the state of mind of that author and what was important to them at that time, what spoke to them at that time, as they go out and release that to the world. Now, obviously, we see that on a weekly basis with a lot of manga, but I think what's really interesting about the way that Yoshihiro Togashi is telling the story in this arc in particular is that it's very, very reminiscent to that of something like a novel. The way that he's hiding information through point of view switches, the way that he's revealing information slowly but surely, leaving it up to reader interpretation, is, even through the use of visual imagery, is very, very akin to, I would say, two things. Number one, novels, but number two, to your movies as well. With the way that he's really capturing the essence of visual storytelling, especially in the last, like I said, 30-something chapters. But for me personally, as someone who is inspired by this dude creatively, it has been so much fun to see someone in that chapter 380 to 390 stretch, seeing someone experiment with stuff that he'd never done before. I mean, there's some stuff in there, bro, that I go back to every now and then. I'm like, man, this guy was having the time of his life writing these chapters, and it's just so incredibly cool. And I think Togashi himself has to be in a place where, obviously, he has a lot of this stuff planned out. But the genius about someone like Yoshihiro Togashi is able to take the elements around him, his interests at that point in time, and have them weave into his story without it, like, hiding them in plain sight, right? And in this particular section, because of the way that he's able to spend time revising the story, the way that he's able to spend time really thinking about what is happening, while also, I'm going to assume, letting his own creative inspiration come out onto the page, the spur of the moment, spontaneous stuff, right? It's really been inspiring from like I said, from a creative standpoint, to see where Hunter x Hunter started as a series that I think was great from the jump, and you see so much of what was important to Yoshihiro Togashi at that point in time, and what's still important to him today, from 1998 until now. It's in the evolution of how he's taken this story. I mean, this is a very different way of the way that he's telling his story now is very different to the way he was telling it mid Chimera Ant. Like, there was a shift mid Chimera Ant into the way that he's telling his story now. And I think what we're seeing is like what happened with Rocky, like mid part 6, going into the stretches on now with like part 7, part 8, and part 9. Is that, mid Chimera Ant arc, and like I said, listen, you can ask anybody, I rewatch York New yearly. That is an arc that is very near and dear to my heart. Same thing with Greed Island. I'm not trying to say one is better than the other. The only thing I'm saying is that the Chimera Ant arc, like in the middle of that arc, clearly something hit the soul, and there was a shift in the direction that he wanted to tell the story. And I think the best example of that shift being an extreme positive for the story is in the last 30 chapters. Because he has taken all of the stuff that he's experimented with throughout the course of specifically the Chimera Ant arc and the election arc, and is now going full. I mean, we're seeing Togashi at what appears to be his best, which is kind of insane to me, because Togashi at his best, I feel like I've seen multiple times. The brother doesn't stop peaking. So I'm just so excited to see where he takes things next. Following, obviously, from 390 to 400, we had that phenomenal Phantom Troop stretch. Another of my absolute favorite sets of content that we've had from the series, man. Really a beautiful stuff, man. One of my favorite chapters in the entire series comes out of that stretch. And I can say the same exact thing about the following stretch from 400 to 410. That might be the single most amazing volume in the arc so far. And it's like, bro, the man is cooking. You know what I'm saying? The man is cooking. And I'm in love with the Succession War arc, mainly because of the elements that I've been talking about up until this point, which is I'm gaining inspiration as somebody who's writing novels while reading Hunter x Hunter. And I gain inspiration from everything. But I'm talking about in the way that I'm telling my story. I can legit read an arc or a chapter from this arc and be like, dang, bro, that's a really good idea to execute. Then I'm talking from a technique standpoint, like strictly technique. It is like that one Hisoka and Crollo chapter, for example. Bro, man, and don't even get me started on my girl Morena. Don't even get me started, man. When we get back, when we get this series back, I'm gonna be so locked in. I was already coming off of the 390s, heading into the 400s. I was already like, man, I don't care where we go. Kurapika, Phantom Troop, Hisoka, Morena, Beyond. I don't care. We're in for some gas. All the princes are extremely interesting, right? And getting even more interesting, especially with the way things are popping off. But the 400 to 410 stretch, son, with how sweaty some of that stuff was. Oh, man, and in the Morena Yu-Gi-Oh card game. I mean, bro, man, I love what we're cooking. And because I'm loving the current material so much, I really can't wait for him to come back. I really can't wait for him to come back. And I just know that whenever Yoshihiro Togashi comes back, obviously he's already writing the material, but whenever we get an opportunity to read that material, it is once again going to be similar to what I've been talking about the last few stretches, where we're going to be able to see what Yoshihiro Togashi was fully feeling, was fully going through, his state of mind while he was writing this particular stretch. I mean, it really is. Togashi's releases of 10 chapters are, for me, as exciting as like a favorite author of mine releasing a novel that year. And I mean that wholeheartedly, man, because each and every single stretch and section that we're getting feels like its own novel. I mean, each volume legitimately feels like its own flipping novel, man, that can be read on its own. And obviously, well, you know what I mean by that, right? not that somebody picks up harder. No, I'm talking about it can be read on its own, and it feels like its own self-contained thing. Well, obviously, providing for the overarching narrative, which you obviously need that full context. That's for sure for this arc, for sure, man. It requires multiple rereads, but it's exciting stuff, man. And both Hunter x Hunter and Kubera are in a place right now where it's not only just exciting, but it also feels like good food. You know, and I mean that in the best way possible. I'm talking about some arroz con habichuela, man. You're eating that thing, you're like, dang, bro, this is really good for me, and it also tastes good. You know what I'm saying? It legit feels like the content that I'm getting here is both good for my entire being, as well as it just tastes good, man. Sometimes when it tastes good, you want to keep eating, but you know that if you keep eating it, or if you keep getting that thing again and again and again, it may not be as special. No, there are certain things that are never gonna be like my One Piece, for example, is my chicken tenders with honey mustard. I can have that any day, man. I'll be good to go. That's my consistency. But man, sometimes you need that pasta. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need some good old what's that thing I get? Stuffed chicken marsala, baby. As you get it every once in a blue moon. Oh, but when it hits, bro, it hits. It hits, man. That's what Hunter x Hunter is. And so, my favorite pay-per-view, my favorite once in a year experience, is going to be making its return soon. And like I said, it's just going to be really exciting for me personally to see what his state of mind is in, what he feels like writing right now. Because obviously he was in a really playful state last stretch with, some really powerful stuff, man. Like I said, it may just be my favorite. We're definitely in one of my favorite stretches in the series for the last couple of stretches. But that last batch was so special because it's everything that makes Togashi. Right, from the mystery to the excellent point of view switches, to the really cool concepts and themes, to the insane amounts of world building on top of the super cool abilities, and the playfulness of the card game, while also adding many different elements to think about within that very same thing, exploring characters through all of it, and above all, this exciting stuff to read, man. Page-turning chapters. And I can't wait for him to come back. So when he does make his return, we will be back and up in like swimwear, and I'm looking forward to what it appears to be is Ginpachi Sensei is going to end, and after Ginpachi Sensei ends, so I'm going to be going from doing Gintama and One Piece to One Piece and Hunter x Hunter, and that's just going to feel, that's the channel, you know? That's the channel right there, you know what I'm saying? Back to back to back. So I'm definitely going to enjoy every second of it, man. And if it just putting it out there of what I can't wait to see most, I don't even know, man. Everything's exciting, bro. Legitimately every single aspect of the story is exciting right now, man. I just don't know, bro, but I definitely want to see some Phantom Troop shenanigans and greatness. I want to continue seeing some more shenanigans and greatness. I gotta continue to see what's going on with the princess, because it's going to chaos. Oh man, bro, maybe, just maybe, we might see my boy Jink. Maybe, man, but even if we don't, it don't even matter, because everything else is cooking at the top level. So crazy, crazy stuff, man. It's wild to think that we're about to hit from 410 to 420 in Hunter x Hunter, because for so long Hunter x Hunter felt like it was just paused at chapter 340, and for us to have gotten 80 chapters since then, for me, it feels like a dream. Because there was a point in time there where I was like, man, I don't know if we're getting another chapter for quite some time. So it's just really cool to be like, yeah, man, we've gotten 80 chapters, or we're about to have 80 chapters since then. We're currently at 70 chapters since then, but 80 chapters since then, man. You know, crazy stuff, man. And so let me know what you're excited for in the comments section down below. What characters you're excited to see, what POVs you're excited to see, and all of the other shenanigans that are happening right now. And let me know your predictions for when you think he's coming back, because he just finished chapter 413, and it looks like he's prepping up to release something by the end of this year, because, you know, once he finishes all of them and gets the batches ready, that's whenever they're ready for publication. So it very well could be an end of this year, early next year thing. I'm going early next year just to stay on the safe side, especially with Dragon Quest 1 and 2 coming out October 30th, and I will join Togashi on that, man. Because Dragon Quest 3 Remake last year was peak. So definitely excited for that, and I'll be joining Togashi on that ride as well. But ladies and gentlemen, that has been it for me today. Just want to talk about this. I'm excited for Hunter x Hunter to come back, as I'm sure a lot of you are as well. And we'll be there no matter what when it does return at some point in the near future. And until then, gonna, of course, after the Xenoblade journey, or even while it's going on, I'm gonna definitely finish like my 100th rewatch of Hunter x Hunter. It is the most endlessly rewatchable series. It really is. I think that's like the formula for being a favorite of mine. Just be endlessly rewatchable. That's what they are. Like my entire favorites list, at least to me, is endlessly rewatchable. So I will see y'all next time. Take care. We're almost back, man. We are so back, dude.